It's Wednesday. Welcome to our Wednesday Wellness Tip. For today's spiritual tip, I'd like to share with you the story about Thich Nhat Hanh. For those of you that don't know him, he was born in Vietnam and became a Buddhist monk. But he was different because not only did he embrace the monastic life of prayer and meditation, he also wanted to take this out to the community, and he knew that was a deep calling. About 10 years ago, he was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey, and she asked him when he first knew he wanted to become a monk. And he said that he had this deep calling at 8 years old. He entered the monastery when he was 16. So remember, of course, that this was all during the Vietnam War. So again, not only did he use his influence in the monastery for prayer and the monastic life, but he also shared with people how to do protest in a non-violent way. And this gained a lot of attention. He was asked to speak all over the world of his practices to protest in a non-violent way. And in fact, in 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize. So he was invited to come to Cornell University to again share his teachings in 1966. And as he did, he traveled all through the United States. Then suddenly, neither North Vietnam nor South Vietnam would let him back into his country. And he was exiled for 39 years. So in the Oprah interview, she asked him, "How did you handle this? And how did you feel?" And he said that he felt like a bee taken out of a beehive. And he said that every night for the first year, he dreamed about going home. And he said what helped him sustain this and to be able to get through this was to continue his practice. So he continued his mindfulness practice. He's written many, many books since then. One of his first books was The Miracle of Mindfulness, that's been read by millions. So eventually he moved to France and he started a Buddhist monastery in France. I believe in 1982. And that's grown so much that it's now the largest Western Buddhist monastery in the world. So I'd like to share some of the principles that Thich Nhat Hanh, and of course his close allies called him Thai, which means teacher. I'd like to share a couple of his principles that he advocated. He wrote and taught on 5 mindfulness trainings. So I'd like to highlight 2 of them. So the first one is to protect life. And this means to adopt non-violence. And he shares that first we must adopt this non-violent practice towards ourselves. And how often, do we berate ourselves, or our self-talk kind of goes to the negative? So first, this non-violence must be geared to ourselves. And then the non-violence to our family, our friends, our city, our country, our world. And the second mindfulness practice is to adopt deep listening and loving speech. So in other words, deep listening to those around us in the communication, and again, loving communication, first towards ourselves and then to others around us. And wouldn't we be able to significantly change the world if we could just focus on those 2 practices? So I encourage you to read more about Thich Nhat Hanh. He was a light on our planet. An amazing, amazing person. And has influenced millions of people in the world. So that's our spiritual tip for today.